All right, so this is session 1 of 2 for Pigsmoke, which is the game of Sorceress Academia. I love it. One of my favorite novels of all time is Monday Begins on Saturday, which is a Russian novel about a Russian academic supernatural institution. Christo knows the book. It's by the same guy who wrote Roadside Picnics, the brothers that wrote that. One of my favorites. I was also, my dad's a professor. And so I was also raised at academia all my life. And I worked at an academic press for a number of years. So I have a little bit of experience on this horror show that is to come. But this is a PbtA game. And we have 4 Rockstar players. I'm looking forward to seeing it. The game is in its final version. They have the PDF out for it, which you can get on drive-thru, and the final version will be out here soon. This is a Gauntlet game. We are using the X card, which I know everyone is familiar with. For those of you who might be watching this and aren't, X card is essentially our safety measure for interactions in this. If you see somebody do this, or they might text it, we might hit a topic or a tone or something they're uncomfortable with. We'll just edit past it. I might stop off to ask to kind of get the shape of that before we move on. So that's the basics of that. We will take a break at the midway point. If we've hit that point and you're like, okay, we need to take a break, lol, and I haven't called it, you need to tell me. And the last of my little spiel things at the start is, again, I talk fast sometimes and I have a Hoosier accent. If you can't understand what I've said, I will take no offense if you go, what the fuck? Just do that, because I have confused people before. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to be playing Pigsmoke. We're going to be doing character creation, a little bit of world building. There's going to be world building that's going to roll out of those characters. We're going to build the Dean, and we're going to go to some scenes. The convention of this is that we begin at the start of fall semester. It's a game that has some time passage elements to it, and we'll talk about that when we hit those. We'll set up some scenes and develop some things that way. So we know the concept that these are academics, publish or perish, research, sorceress, things or perish. It is a world where there are mundanes and there are the supernatural. The supernatural don't want to get spotted necessarily by the mundanes. They don't want witch hunters to descend. But it's a little more loose than, say, Hogwarts defenses there, is my impression of it. My sense of things is that the tone is sort of dry humor. We play things straight, and the absurdity of the very notions of things will generate that. Well, with that in mind, does anyone want to say something? Any things you definitely want to see or not see? Themes or ideas in the course of the game? Let's take a moment to talk about that.
I'd just like to say that I want as many puns as possible from Dylan. Just consider that the gates are open.
My character was going to be totally punless.
No.
No, I'm going to Y card that.
No, we'll definitely we'll require those. I'm certain that certain magics obviously will be cast via puns.
Well, I've got it built into my character's name already, and I think some others do also. So I think we're good for that.
Awesome. Anything else besides the desire for puns as an element that you wish to see in the game or not see? Topics or subject matter? I know we're doing a lighter game. No Nazis. Okay.
Well, you said Nazi.
No. Good job, Dylan.
Thanks.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. If we hit anything, guys, want or don't want, you can always send me a note. We can always check in between this session and the next. I will do Roses and Thorns at the end of second session. Once we've done both, and we'll stop and take 15 minutes at the end of that session. Tonight runs about 2.5 hours. So that's the general gist of things. So for those watching at home, it's about to get super boring because we're going to look at the character spreadsheets. I'm going to check in with everybody about what they've got, and I'm going to point people to some other bits and things that they might not have seen. Did everybody see that I've got a couple new tabs that I put up today? One of them is the Dean's List. It's the second tab. We'll come back to that. It's about the choices for us to define who the dean is or what the dean is. The other one is there's a set of departmental queries. I've put the questions for each of your departments on the third tab. So we've got foresight, alchemy, wow, that is terrible. And now I'm going to say it that way the whole night. Alchemy, Department of the Elements, and Department of Artifacts and Relics. And essentially, there's a question about who the head of your department is, the key problem facing your department, and what the department building is like. And we'll do that after we've kind of built the characters. We'll come back and answer those questions. But I just wanted to point you to those. Let me see if there's anything else. There are also on the playbooks that are actually in the book itself, there are some things about stuff that you have. I don't want to particularly worry about that since we're just in a 2-session thing. If it comes up, or if you've already hunted that down, then we'll have that. Now you've got the big thing we have to decide here. Everybody, it looks like you've assigned stats. It looks like you found some of the description things.
I haven't done stats yet.
Haven't done stats yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the stat just a 1+, 1-, and a 2+.
Let me check and make sure on that. I think that is, in fact, the case.
Okay. Let me see what you guys have so I can be totally.
It's neg 10 +1 +2.
Right.
Okay. So
I'm going to be -1 charisma because you all have charisma.
That makes sense.
Ooh, and I'm +2 research.
I'm going to drop into the chat our die roller link. I've set that up already. If I can close this window, let me enter in the chat there. Thank you, Google. There we go. So that's that. Everyone can see. Got. Thanks. Now, one of the things. One of the things I mentioned to you, Dylan, is that you get a foci, which essentially is an artifact, and there is a separate document in the PDF in a folder that has the details on how you make those. Essentially, there's some stuff for that.
Can I figure that out? Mix that up as we go, or
absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely, exactly what I was about to say. So while Dylan is getting that together, and you have a chance to look at these character things, does anybody have any questions about the moves that you've had to choose from, or anything that you want to know at this point?
I haven't done too much. I haven't had a chance to do too much ahead reading, so I might just if you think it's pretty straightforward, I can figure it all out as we go. I should be with that. But if anybody feels like you need to either point out that I'm triggering a move or something like that, please do. Or if there's a move that I should be looking at.
Okay. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I, while you're doing that, go and have the characters introduce themselves, and we'll get the gist of their concept. Once we've got all 4 of them done, then we'll go through and we'll work through those questions that we have for each character about the NPCs and their relationships to other people and that kind of thing. Does that sound cool? All right. So the only time I'm going to roll the die tonight, Rich, we're going to start with you. It's like initiative.
It's like that. It appears, though, that you didn't use the roll for your party, so I just don't know if I believe you actually rolled dice. I don't know.
You heard it, though.
Well, true. I am playing a character who is a professor in the alchemy department. His name is Elocucius Q McBaron-Pfeffer.
McBaron-Pfeffer?
Yes.
Okay. Go on. Tell us
His
about
role
a little.
is a politician, and his fulfillment is greed. His eyes have an avaricious stare, and he often wears his lab coat even when he's not teaching. His classroom is a weird laboratory. It's an alchemical laboratory, and he does call it a laboratory because that is more appropriate. His moves are a Teflon, which is about making excuses and nothing sticking to you, and playing the game, which allows him to publish even if he has nothing new to publish a paper about. And so he does that.
That is excellent. What do you imagine your teaching assistant is going to be like?
So the teaching assistant information specializes in delve deeper or purchase order. I had not actually, I wasn't clear on that, and I have not read the whole.
Okay, we can choose that as we go along. We'll hit some of those moves, and you can make that choice when we hit there. Awesome. And since we have your picture, we can see it. Those at home, how would you describe your character's appearance?
He is average height and would appear average, except that he has very stylish long hair that because he's balded on top. So, the high forehead is a sign of intelligence, and long hair is a sign of flair. And that is important to Professor McBaron-Pfeffer.
McBaron-Pfeffer. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, Rich. I appreciate that. I didn't realize, in fact, you had your picture in your overlay. So what I said made no sense.
It's
there we
okay.
go.
You called yourself out. Now I will just drink from my skull now.
Sweet, sweet nectar from the skull. So let's talk with Christo. Christo, please tell us about Sven Fatale?
Sven Fatale.
Fatale.
Yes. So Sven Fatale is a networker, so he's a big socialite. His department is elements. He's an air elementalist, which he will make good use of. His eyes, the picture shows blue, sort of bluish gray eyes, and his eyes match the sky in any weather. He wears tailored clothes that fit him very well. He looks good in anything he wears. And his attitude, he has a giant folder of blackmail on everybody.
Yep.
So I think you know where I'm going with this one.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what else to say. He's got a move that's going to be a lot of fun. Tell me everything. When you spend time chatting with Sven and gossiping with someone, I get a roll plus charisma. On a hit, they'll tell you a secret, either about themselves or someone else. I choose who. So
nice.
I think we'll have fun. I think we'll have fun with that one. What I don't really understand, because I haven't read through the book yet, is the avatar move. When you try to compel the cosmic principle of your element to do something for you, say what you want to happen and roll plus charisma. So
It is literally as broad as that.
Make a wish?
Yes, make a wish with a fiction there. You did, and it does actually point to, you'll notice that the tell me everything move says compulsion on it. Compulsion is marked on a couple of people's moves. It's also on the basic move. A compulsion move basically means that it operates by the standard PbtA principle that you can do it to a PC, but then they can choose to accept or deny it.
Okay.
And if NPCs will follow orders, but PCs can choose to get to mark experience, or they can say no on that. So that's how that works. Some of the moves also say time consuming. That means it essentially takes about a week. And because that's kind of the block units of time that they use in here. So that's often for teaching and research and things like that. All right. Well, thank you very much there. Lauren, can you please tell us about Carol Olepeist? How do you wish to say that?
I've been saying Olepeist So, but I don't know
Oh,
if that's right. Sure, I would love to. So Carol Olifest is a math magician from the Department of Foresight. He publishes a lot of research on sort of, I guess, the overlay between having the ability to see the future and scry and stuff with like economic principles and mathematics and that kind of thing. So he has published a bit of research on sort of actuarial stuff. So like risk management and how that interacts with scrying, maybe like how the Monte Carlo principle relates to visions of the future and that kind of thing, because even though people can read the future, there's an element of like randomness in that. So that's his area of expertise. I imagine he also deals a lot with like the department of budgeting and that sort of thing. So he's very bureaucratic and is kind of that straight man to all the craziness that goes on around here.
What does a sorcerer's actuarial table look like?
It's a good question. I feel like it's this nightmarish Excel format, Excel table. Just like a bunch of formulas that don't make sense to anyone.
It's got to be pivoted at least twice.
Exactly, if not three.
There's a spiral of pivots going all the way down into the vortex.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I like it. So in terms of his style, I've got his picture here, but he's sort of like this 30s, like middling 30s-ish, like hipster professor. So his style is future fashions and tweed. So he has a lot of tweed, and he's got like a mood ring tie that reflects his mood, much like Sven Fatale. And he is cryptic, so he regains 1 point of burnout whenever he misses on a roll. And yeah, I'm really excited about this character, and I've had a lot of coffee, so it should be fun. Oh,
excellent! And you are a workhorse, so Carol has a strong work ethic.
Yes, very much so. Like he is dependable. He will complain a lot about it, but he's very dependable and reliable, and will go out of his way to help everyone.
That's an in for everyone else, right there. Just remember that somebody here likes to do work. And what moves did you take?
Yeah, so I was really torn on the workhorse one. I went with it's very rational, which is a compulsion. When I present someone with a reasoned conclusion supported by evidence, I tell them what I want them to do about it and roll bureaucracy. On a 10 plus, they have to pick one from the list. On a 7 to 9, they have additional options. And the move just flat out fails whenever the conclusion isn't supported by evidence. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out.
Okay.
And then I also picked Fate Spinner, which is when you meddle with someone's destiny, enact the correct ritual and roll bureaucracy. On a 10 plus, hold 3. On a 7 to 9, hold 1. And hold 1 for 1 to trigger the following events. And there's the list there as well. So yeah, nice. I'm really excited about this.
Excellent. I like how that's going to go, and get a younger character devoted there. We got a couple of good-looking characters and a couple of less perhaps handsome.
A couple? Like there's just the one.
Fair enough. Speaking of which, Dylan, I'm not even trying to pronounce that.
It's Zvi. Ben Zvi.
Ben Zvi.
Zvi Ben Zvi. Okay. He's Israeli originally.
All right. Tell us about Sven V. Zvi.
Zvi Ben Zvi. You can just call him Zvi.
Good.
Just say the letter V, but start with a Z. Zvi. Okay. So let's see. So Zvi, and as you can see, there's a little. I do have a picture on my overlay. He's balding man with cool little. He calls them techno goggles, but they're actually from one of his artifacts. His style is he dresses like he was just torn out of the pages of like a 1950s Sears catalog. His classroom is full of esoterica. So for attitude, I kind of I don't know that I love this or not. I just put there's a time and place for that, and now it's not the time. Fulfillment, hoarder. So it kind of makes sense for somebody who works with relics and artifacts. He's one of the oldest teachers, or probably the oldest age-wise He's just pretty old. Nobody knows how old he actually is, but he seems to talk like with firsthand knowledge of things that happen a lot older than he should be able to talk about. And let's see, the moves that I took was, and also I was there. So when someone publishes a paper as a lead or contributing author, I can sneak my name onto it, or Zvi can sneak his name onto the author's right by rolling. Where'd it go? My page just jumped on me. Where was it? Also, I was there. When they roll publish, if I do, oh man, my page keeps jumping around on me. This is weird. Stay. Here we go. If you do, your player character, who is an author on the player can mark burnout top box. I'm not fully understanding all this, but yet, if they don't roll bureaucracy on a hit, my name gets on there, and I gain the benefits and consequences of the publish roll, as if I was a co-author. On a 7 to 9, there's been complications, suffer an additional one, and of the 7 to 9 complications, publish in addition to any other consequence in the roll. Okay, and for my relics move, I took history repeats itself. So when I offer somebody advice, that's a help move, based on historical precedent. I'll tell you tell them what happened. The last time someone tried this and raw research on a 10 plus, my recounting contains useful truths. The next roll they make in pursuit of the skull gains an advantage on a 7 to 9. It's a little more complex. They can still gain an advantage on the roll, but will require something valuable, something dangerous to acquire, or something humiliating. The MC will tell you what. Okay.
Excellent. And what that points us to is the idea of research and papers. At least part of the time, your job is to advance knowledge in your field. So at any particular time, you will have a research topic. And you can work towards that, and usually do that by delving deeper. That's a particular move. Essentially, it's a weekly move to advance that. Essentially, you have to get 6 ticks on a research topic. You kind of write it in and come up with what it is to get it to the point where it is publishable. And other people can help you with that, and they become co-contributors on that. And there's a whole move for doing that publish. And then, of course, there are people who sneak in at the last minute, don't contribute, and to try to get their name on it. So that's how that works. And that's important. Researching is a way to gain experience. It's slow, but you get XP for it. Or you can teach. Teaching gets you experience, but teaching burns you out. Okay, so research, easy, take your time, get your name on things. Teaching, fast, but burns you out. So keep that in mind. There isn't really a physical harm track. If something were to occur that would cause you physical harm, essentially the first time that you get hurt, you're just hurt. If you get it worse, you're taken out. If you get hurt really badly, you have to go to the Vivomancer wing. When you go to the Vivomancer wing, there's a move for that, because they'll heal you, but you're also a research subject for them at that point. So keep that in mind. But we'll come back to all of these various things as we go along. We've got some questions. 3 of these questions come from your department, and 3 of these come from your role. They're kind of relationship building questions. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to work through those. Rich, you're a little more experienced in PbtA. Do you think we should do 3 of them and then go back into the other 3? Or do you think we should do all 6 from you at once? Or should we pick some of those? What do you think?
Oh gosh, I've seen it both ways, and there are advantages for both. One is that you feel like you're kind of telling a complete story by going through all the questions with one person, but sometimes a question later for someone might spark a better answer for a one that you have unanswered. So that is my non-answer.
Okay. And Dylan has asked a good thing. What would Plussy do?
Plussy would just go through all of them.
Okay, so Rich, we're going to go through all of them because Plussy is only the best. So we're starting with you, Elocucius Q. McFerrin.
Yes.
Let's start with you.
These questions, so I'll read the first. You've got a rival with just as strong a power base as you. Who? Should I be saying a player character?
You can decide that. I mean, you can offer it out. It's like a standard thing. You could say, hey, I want to put that out there.
Mechanical, since there's no helping, is this just narrative or
this is purely narrative? Yeah, these are purely narrative things. It allows you to establish essentially either relationship ties with other players, or we can build up some NPCs.
I think it's probably that Finn guy.
Okay.
Finn Satali or whatever. He knows a lot about everybody.
Does that make sense to you, Sven?
Yeah. That works.
Okay. And how would you describe this, your power base there, Elocucius?
Wow. I would say that Elocucius' power base is not great. I mean, he is kind of in it for the money, and he doesn't really publish actual viable paper, so he's kind of just running a scam, more or less. His power base is that he's got a few things over on people, and that he thinks he's pretty clever.
Okay, so both you and Sven are using the system as best you can.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense to me. What's your second question?
The dean hates you personally, and wants you to fail. Why? I think it's the Teflon move. I have been able to make outrageous excuses, and Elocucius has avoided repercussions for poor research, for publishing other people's work, who were dead, mind you. I'm pretty sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So it's just basically, it always rolls to somebody else, but he's giving the department a bad name by not actually publishing anything worthwhile. He does teach, though.
So let me ask you this. You said you were putting your name with dead people. Was that a question of you falsifying names, or did you raise them up?
Start off with falsifying names, later raise them up because then they could give me the thumbs up.
Okay. What's your third question?
You owe someone a big favor. I love this because it has a U in favor. Who are they and what did they do for you? I think I owe Carol, the math magician, which I love that. So I owe Carol for, I don't know, what do you think, Lauren? Do you think that Carol taught some classes for Elocucius? Do you think that Carol allowed Elocucius to add his name to some papers that you published about mathematical alchemical formulas? Did you do your workhorse? Do you think it's both of those?
It could be both. I mean, he's a pretty giving guy. I mean, he could even have done sort of like quality assurance or like, that thankless task of like running your numbers to make sure that the alchemical formulas were correct and that kind of thing, which, he got like a footnote in the end of the paper, maybe.
Yeah, I assumed that Carol is more familiar with computers and running programs through, one of the desktops or the UNIVAC or, whatever they have than our Elocucius.
I think that maybe this has been going on for a few semesters. It started off, and Elocucius just like needed you to double check a couple formula. Then the work got a little more sloppy, and now it's just more like general kind of suggestion of a formula that you then do. To continue just kind of pushing it more and more on you. And the footnote, like before you were byline, now you're like a footnote.
I dig it.
Awesome.
Okay, who is enraged by the amount of stuff you're expensing to the department? I think it's Binsby, because I throw outrageous parties, and I usually expense artifact rental.
Ah. What kind of artifacts are involved with the kinds of parties that you throw?
I don't know, Binsby. What kind of artifacts have I taken from your department upon rental?
You're muted.
Okay, there we go. That's better. You probably take just completely opposite of what someone might think you'd want, like to take for a party, but somehow they go over well. They go over very well.
Nice. So not like lighting or smoke.
Not lighting or like things to chill beverages.
That's too easy. It's got to be something challenging.
Yeah, you have things that would like turn a barbecue grill inside out.
Grill masters. So there are certain braziers.
Yes,
those
sort of things. Yeah,
or barbecues. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
grill masters, aka braziers. I like
fertility stuff and the like.
Which of your students is blatantly cheating? Why are you letting it slide? Interesting. I think that the student that's blatantly cheating is it okay if maybe Binsby has like a great grand niece?
Yes, that would be okay.
I don't know how many greats, but basically part of, so we'll call her Hermione Binsby, and I'm letting her cheat like crazy because I'm just racking up points. This will come out in the end. If it goes bad for me, Hermione's in trouble.
Is Svi aware of Hermione's cheating?
Hermione wouldn't cheat. She's the best student.
Exactly. Best student. I make sure of it. And is that good? You need more questions, follow-ups on that?
That sounds good to me. I'll come and check in your department here in a moment.
There are rumors that, of course, that Elocutus might have an interest in Hermione, but that's not actually true.
He just looks creepy.
Way more attractive. What was the last thing you made that went dreadfully wrong? Let me look upon alchemical. I think a peer of mine in the alchemical department is currently fuzzy.
Okay. Professor Lunken Mop. Is currently fuzzy. What color is the fuzz?
I think it has to be blue.
Blue.
It looks quite beastly.
Like he might be challenged for copyright with a particular comic book, kind of blue?
It's possible.
Okay, fair enough. So Professor Lucan Mop.
Yeah. Told him that it was, take the edge off. He did. Made him fuzzy.
Fair enough. Had you planned for it to be that way?
No,
was that part of your
not
scheme?
at all. I borrowed that for me. Actually, I think it's Carol's fault.
Fair enough. When in doubt. All right. Sven Fatal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sven, would you please tell us about your questions then to be answering?
I won't go to action for these yet. Who's been digging into your social media accounts looking for something shameful, and what have they found? How about Elocucius has found marvelous, scandalous sex with pictures, gossip, and rumors?
Ooh.
You up for that, Elocucius?
Say again? I'm sorry.
I think that's a yes. That you dug through social media accounts and got scandalous sex with pictures, gossip, and rumors on Sven.
Right. That just fell into my lap. I don't even know how that happened. That's just...
You weren't hunting for it.
I barely know these computers.
Let a grad student do it for you.
I still have an AOL account. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ouch. I owe one of my students a favor. How did that happen? Oh, actually, I'm sort of a loss for that one. I'll skip that one and come back to it.
Okay.
Who in the Department of Elements is your primary rival? That'll give us an NPC. I'll say it's Alex Johnson, the Earth Elementalist. And they think I'm frivolous and a threat to the school. And they may be right. What did you damage the last time you unleashed your magic? See, will you be okay if I really damaged one of your artifact hoards? Your vaults,
You
maybe?
could do that,
It'd been
it could be my scalp. Maybe I had a beautiful head of hair. And...
I'm not sure how I would have done that though, because I'm an air elementalist primarily. So
okay.
I mean, it could be lightning. I could have scorched you with lightning, right? An air elementalist. I could have done that. So maybe I did both.
Cool.
Or he had a marvelous toupee magically created that you blew off.
And had flying around the school. That could do it.
It's still in the sky, like above us. It's like caught in this like whirlwind thing, and every now and then it comes down close enough that I can reach it, and that I might be able to reach it, but I can't.
Some say it haunts the halls to this day. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
My toupee.
Flying free. And teasing. Okay. What was a really stupid thing you did right before term started? We haven't said anything about the dean yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
I had a fling with the dean's significant other.
Oh. That'll be interesting when we decide what the dean actually is.
Oh, what? Okay. Oh, that could get really weird.
Or who, yes.
You've got dirt on an NPC in your department. Who and what is that? So I think it's who the NPC is and what is the dirt, right?
Yep.
An NPC in my department. Let's do. I've got dirt on Mabel, the water elementalist. It's funny to have dirt on a water elementalist, but okay. Mud.
Oh.
And what do I know about her? She bought her diploma from like a mail-away college.
Ooh.
And I owe one of my students a favor. How did that happen? Doesn't even ask what the favor is. Well, I guess it's just a favor. How did that happen? What did student. I submitted the student's work as my own.
Ooh, classic. Male or female student?
Male.
Okay. Do you have a name?
Eric.
Okay. Has an H on the end of it, of course.
Oh, sure. Eric.
Yeah. All right, you happy with those? All right. Let me come to Carol Olipeist.
Cool. So I have, who has roped you into most of the work on their latest project? What is it and why are you helping? I feel like the really obvious one is Elocutus, because we have this currently ongoing work relationship. There's really good options of characters to pick from. I kind of want to mix it up there, and I might go for Sven Fatali. And our latest project that we're working on is perhaps dabbling in a bit of air elemental sciences with physics and trying to I'm not quite sure what the experiment would be, but yeah, perhaps trying to do something with air physics, which isn't like really Carol's
whole butterfly wing in China and the effect it has on hurricanes elsewhere. That whole thing.
Yes, that's genius.
Well, and the second part would be we could try and figure out the flight patterns of the toupee.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Nice.
So I love that, and I'm helping because this isn't a I'm helping because like I have really hard time saying no to things, but Carol tells himself it's because this is a field that he wants to break out into, since he is wanting to sort of extend beyond just like the basic foresight risk management stuff that he's been doing for a lot of his career.
So do you think that this is causing problems, that Elocutus wants you to do these things, but you're doing this project that maybe you have a little more excitement about? Is that causing some tension?
Yeah, exactly. It's like awkwardly, like not romantic, but it has that sort of, I'm doing a lot of work with Elocutus, but now I'm kind of cheating on him with like Sven doing this other stuff. and I'm sure that'll go wonderfully.
Yes. All right.
Awesome. I also have, what part of your job do you hate the most and why do you keep doing it? I feel like Carol is responsible for doing a lot of the department budgeting, since it's not a task that anyone wants to do. And he ends up getting lumped with it more often than not. So he's in charge of the department's books.
Is Carol trustworthy?
I would say so.
Okay.
We'll see if that's true. My characters often have a tendency to go in being really trustworthy and then come out not being trustworthy at all.
Shooting people in the arm. Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. For who infuriates you with their ability to skate by on the minimum effort? This has to be Elocutus, I reckon. Without a doubt. If Elocutus is fine with that.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Elocutus is fine with that.
Was it always that way when you first met him? Did you feel that way, or has that grown slowly over time, like a burr in your shoe?
That's a good question. I think it's probably over time, right? Because you look at Elocutus on the face of it, and he publishes like a lot of papers, so he clearly must know what he's doing and does a lot of research. But then now that he's worked with him for a fair bit, he notices that like some of these papers are a bit repetitive and they don't really expand upon the area that he's researching into. And then I think now Carol sort of learned that he's tied himself with this person that is sort of in it, not so much through research, but more like getting one's name out there and the fame and fortune of it all.
Excellent. Next one.
Who has the heaviest weight of destiny upon them? Who? This is a really... I'm not quite sure about this one. So I kind of want to make it another PC.
Could do that.
So I love making complicated PC relationships.
Could be Sven.
I was going to say, let's go for Sven. That would make a lot of sense about why Carol's trying to do research with him.
And when you have these weighted destiny, is it a positive destiny, a negative destiny? What do you imagine? What's your impression there, oh scholar of foresight?
Ooh, I feel like it's that double-edged sword of there's so much opportunity and so much positivity, but it's going to weigh a lot on the choices that Sven makes in the coming future. And it could go really wrong if he takes the wrong ones.
Excellent. He's at a crossroads.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
What omens have accompanied the start of the new academic year? I kind of, for some reason, like I still have magpies in my head from a game I played this week. Since they have a lot of omens with like, one for sorrow, two for joy, and that kind of thing. I kind of feel like the omen that's accompanied the start of the new academic year is a lot of single magpies. Like there's a lot of them, but they don't seem to be paired up in any way.
Ooh.
Which is like really odd. And the school is just now covered in like magpie poop, and there's just a lot of like nasty bird stuff around.
I like it.
And then make a prediction about the way things are going to go. I kind of feel like there's going to be a lot of unpredictable friendships that may either start as enemies and then enemies or friends that become enemies, that kind of thing. I think we're all going to be friends by the end of this bit in really unpredictable ways.
Is that a scientific assessment from the foresight department, or is that a more hopeful prognosis?
I guess the hopeful prognosis. This is all gut, which, Carol's gut's never to be trusted.
All right. I like it. Let us finish off with Sven v. Svi? I'm going to get that. Just going to stop me every single time. There we go.
Zvi ben Svi.
Zvi ben Svi.
Zvi.
Svi.
Okay. It's okay. Zvi cannot pronounce Sven's name at all. He's like Svi. So okay. Who has been burned by your methods before? I think Sven. Sven has been burned by my methods.
Ah. Was that before or after the incident with the toupee?
I think it was before the toupee.
So you think it might have been retaliation?
I think it could have been retaliation, but I mean, I see it as there's nothing wrong with my methods. It was, let's see. Should I be typing these in as we go, or somebody? Oh,
no, I'm writing I'm keeping my notes.
Who do you hold in such contempt that you would never attach yourself to them? I'm trying to decide if I should make this another PC or not. I don't want to miss the opportunity to publish.
Right. Could always make it an NPC.
Could it be the dean, or am I kind of attached to the dean by the fact that I teach here?
Could make it your department head.
I'll make it the department chair.
Okay. And we'll come back to ask about that.
Okay. Which recent high-profile failure did you mistakenly attach yourself to? That would be Eloquatius's recent publication.
I would say that wasn't a failure. It was pretty good.
History.
Everyone else who signed on has gone down with the sinking ship, and yet he's managed to get out from under it
by climbing up on the others above them and pushing them down into the water.
It was alchemy and artifacts, a new path for the future.
I came up with the title.
Yeah.
It was a textbook that was intended to be like a basic primer for the thing, and then it was discovered that in fact he'd just taken the previous edition and alchemically modified and used a thesaurus to run it through.
That sounds excellent.
Some find and replace action there.
Yeah.
So who used to own one of my foci? So I've only designed one foci so far. So maybe this will help me prompt another one. Who used to own one of my foci, and what were they using it for? Let's say Carol. And Carol, what were you using it for?
So what? So a magical artifact that of you that you
Yes.
have now that he
That I
had.
have. Yeah.
Okay.
I have it now, but it used to be Carol's, and it is a mirror frame with no mirror in it. So what were you using it for, Carol?
I'm on mute. There we go. I'm definitely a scrying. I was 100% seeing, testing it for a scrying effect.
Did it work?
Too well,
Oh.
but I'm a little bit afraid to speak about it.
Ooh, a mirror darkly. Scary. All right.
And then which important relic has gone missing from the department stores, and why is that bad? So what's gone missing is the unlucky rabbit's foot. Would you like to know why it's bad?
I would love to know why it's bad.
It multiplies. Like a rabbit's.
Excellent. So you have to watch out for this thing hopping around campus?
Yeah, they're probably everywhere now.
Okay.
And they're bad luck. The unlucky rabbit's foot, obviously. So what did you bring back from the last dig you were on? And I brought back a oh man. A game, and like an ancient board game.
Jumanji style?
Sure, it could be Jumanji style.
Okay. Ancient game. All right. Excellent. I like that. Let's figure out the dean. There's some dean questions for that. And then I want to come in and check in on those 3 departmental things. And then we'll see what happens after that. Rich, you're the first person in the order today. If you'll turn to the Dean's tab, otherwise known as the Dean's list, you get to choose the name of the
Jaffiel.
Dean. Jaffiel. So the Dean's name is Jaffiel, male or female? Or something else?
Let's go female.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next person. Sven, what is the Dean's nature?
The Dean is an awful person outsourcing life's difficulties to you. Just awful.
So pushes her work onto other people there, her problems onto the staff. All right. Carol, what does the Dean care about?
Ooh, let's go for rules and regulations.
Rules and regulations.
Sven is doomed.
Yes. Zvi, what does the dean want?
The dean wants to transform Pigsmoke in some sweeping way.
What sweeping way?
Wants to expand Pigsmoke to like 5 or 6 times its current size.
Oh.
Just size, or is she trying to make it a franchise?
Oh,
That's it. I like that. Yes.
expanding it possibly into Pigsmoke Online.
Make it franchisable. Yeah, and Pigsmoke Online, and but it wants to put the name on a stadium, like Pigsmoke Stadium, and
Increase that visibility.
She has secured Pigsmoke.ke though, just in her defense.
That makes sense. So does she want a bigger stadium, or is the stadium just not there?
oh, not like she wants such a big name that will be on the side of stadiums like University of Phoenix Stadium.
Oh,
But
okay.
So
eventually they'll have the Pigsmoke Bowl.
yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, I'll come back to that one. I'll leave that one. Rich, I swing back to you. The dean's vision for Pigsmoke is.
I'm gonna dovetail off of the transforming Pigsmoke and call it something wildly unrealistic, even at America's foremost school of sorcery.
Awesome. Sven, what can the dean not resist?
And it has to be from this list?
Nope.
Gambling promises. Let's do gambling. I think that will be the most interesting, actually.
Okay.
Or maybe actually with the rule. We have to follow rules. Making cryptic decrees and pronouncements which must be obeyed.
Okay.
That's actually better. Then that ties in with the rules, and then its life will just be miserable.
I love it.
All right. And let me ask then, Carol, what does the dean look like? How old? How young? What's the appearance of our dean, Jaffael?
Ooh. That's a really good question. I kind of feel like she is very tall, and has like a high tight sort of salt and pepper bun, quite severe, lots of tweed, and she almost like a little bit alien, like her limbs are a little bit too long. She's like for her height and weight and so on. And she's like these very like terrifyingly piercing eyes that you feel like she's staring right into your soul when she's yelling at you.
Leaning down, like 6'4", 6'5", something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Very crow-like, I'm guessing. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, looks like the various magpies that have been around at the campus. She shoos them away. She doesn't care for them at all. She's told the groundskeepers to move them along. She's also very pleased, of course, being that tall with the Pigsmoke women's basketball team. So happy with that. Last question I'm going to put to Zvi. Zvi, what is the dean's significant other like? And I will let Sven veto, but I'll let you set this up.
The dean's significant other is just like a younger, totally good-looking, macho, perfect hair, muscular beefcake.
Okay. Are you good with that, Sven?
Yeah. He's good in bed and good for moving furniture, but nothing else.
He knows the way to the gun show. So, okay.
Yes.
So, there we go. All right. I've got some departmental queries. That's what I'm going to hit people with right now. That's the first thing. Rich, there are 3 questions for your department.
The Department of Alchemy. The head of department is supplying illegal drugs to most of the students and half the faculty.
It can happen. Awesome.
The key problem facing the department. I mean, maybe we just follow it right through with crime?
Okay.
So crime, the Department of Alchemy is both wealthy and well-equipped with potentially intoxicating chemicals, making it a prime target for criminally minded students and mundanes. Naturally, you're going to have to put a stop to this. So it's a little... sorry? You were going to say something?
I was going to say that, so Department Head Rigoletto, he comes in and he says to you, you got to get with the program. Elacudis, you gotta get with the program of the alchemy department because me and the boys, we're tight. You not so tight. Something like that.
Sure. I like that. So we have a little Cosa Nostra Magica. Okay. The department building is a dank place. Okay, so I'm not answering that. I was reading aloud. I'm just going to go right ahead with garish and ostentatious display of wealth. I think that it looks a little bit like on the inside hallways, and it's a little bit like I'm sorry, Lauren, like a Buca de Beppo. It's got tons of like pictures of Italian families, and it's very like a lot of wainscoting, lots of colorful like reds and yellow, gold, like harvest golds, and all kinds of black and white pictures of various folk who have attended the school.
Celebrities.
Lots of celebrities, pictures with many celebrities. Marilyn Monroe.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. And let me talk to the Department of Elements. Tell us about the Department of Elements, Sven.
Oh, the Dean is an honest-to-God elemental. Their thoughts alien and inscrutable. They occasionally speak in their own tongue, but they barely acknowledge the humans around them. How did they even get this job? You're pretty certain they've never published a paper.
So are they a full elemental, or are they like a Jinn or an Ifrit or some other hybrid thing? What do you imagine that as?
Ifrit.
Okay. That works for me.
Let's see. The key problem facing the department is elementalist schools are prone to infighting, and the department at Pigsmoke is one of the worst of the lot. How are you supposed to get anything done while you're navigating this tangled web of elemental allegiances and the duels?
Are you an island alone, or are you part of a faction within the elemental department?
And he throws his hair back, I'm one of a kind.
Fair enough.
There's nobody like Sven.
No one cast like Sven. No.
Yep.
And then we go into the full song from there. But anyway,
he's especially good at expectorating.
Thank you.
Okay.
Department building.
I like the first one. Several different buildings mashed together, knocked through, and repurposed over the decades into a maze of tiny rooms, dead-end corridors, and inadvertently secret doors. People and things get lost in there all the time. You know, when the Earth Elemental was the dean, it was the worst thing ever. Everything smashed together, rearranged.
Buildings that kind of organically grew together,
Hmm.
merged into one. Steam heat, those steam heat pipes and the clacking of that throughout
Boy.
the whole place.
When you're hungover and it starts clacking in the morning, oh.
The little hammers.
Uh-huh.
Excellent. All right. Department of Foresight. Carol, tell us about the Department of Foresight.
Well, the head of the department is this ambitious schemer who meddles endlessly in everyone's lives, especially mine, which I really don't need because I'm neck deep in a budget as it is.
Nice. Talented? Not talented? What do you imagine?
I think very talented, but their intentions are always in the wrong place. They mean very well, but everything usually goes very wrong.
Excellent. The key problem?
The key problem facing our department is there are too many wrong prophecies. Maybe because of this ambitious schemer. They just, sees a prophecy and can't keep his mitts off of it. It's driving the students away.
This is a little off. Let me just tweak this a little. I'll get it back to you. Okay.
Exactly. Like I'm thinking of someone who's a little bit OCD, like someone who's a little bit like a control freak. He's very control freaky.
Control freak, and wants to increase the volume at the same time, so making everybody work harder.
Mm-hmm.
And the departmental building.
The department building is overrun with omens and portents. Like I kind of feel like if you're going to do a slow pan of the school departments, everyone's looks pretty pristine in like the brick buildings and it's quite prestigious. And then you sort of cut to the Department of Foresight that is just a bit run down because it's so full of bad omens. There's no point renovating it or giving it any new makeovers or anything because at some point it's going to be overrun with crows that flop on the roof and beg students for cigarettes, and there's
ghostly skulls and apparitions that appear and speak of doom.
Exactly. It's like no one wants to hang out there at all ever.
Everyone is afraid they'll get wrapped into some strange destiny if they stay there too long.
Oh, I think it's happened one too many times for the school's liking.
Excellent. Lastly, Ben Zvi. Tell us about the Department of Artifacts with an E.
So the head of the department is probably a thief. Well, definitely a thief if you're a long dead sorcerer with a tomb full of magical artifacts, but only probably a thief if you bring a tasty lunch to work, at least as far as anyone can prove.
Ah.
And the key problem facing the department is, so it turns out that you keep relics in too close a proximity, they set up some dangerous magical resonances. And the department has lots of resources, oddments in very small space, and the artifacts effects are starting to show. Silver lining, though, plenty of material for research.
So we got a Warehouse 13 situation going on there?
Exactly. Warehouse 13 is based on my basement. And the department building is very old. Very old. Built on top of itself over and over again. It's got some basements and sub-basements, secret doors, hidden levels, long forgotten archives. Who knows what could be down there?
Long forgotten. Excellent. That sounds workable to me. School year. We're going into that fall. Just want to set something up here. before we go to our break. And you have all heard it through the grapevine. When you are kind of getting the planning, you're figuring out course assignments, deciding what you're going to be teaching, all of that kind of stuff, that sort of chaos. You see all the fresh-faced, fresh persons that are arriving there during the early days, and then the sophomores and juniors that are just burnt out and tired and exhausted and been worn down by their experience. The same thing with teachers. There are a few instructors who are new to Pigsmoke, new hires that are coming in that, you can see the ambition and the just desire to teach and impart knowledge that will be crushed soon. So you watch that from a distance. Probably bets are going on about what that's going to have. Oh yeah, well, if you need to establish your teaching assistant, you can do that when we do your scene. Does that seem cool? Okay. But the other thing you've heard is that apparently there's a lot more pressure on the school this semester because the 10-year accreditation group is coming through. They're going to be doing the review of the whole school throughout this year, seeing whether they should renew Pigsmoke's accreditation. There were some issues in the last couple of years, some academic issues and some homicidal issues that has made them question exactly what Pigsmoke's status is going to be. So that is the issue that's sort of looming over the school right now. With that in mind, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and when we return, I will throw people into scenes face first. All right. So it is that early August time when the students have arrived, and you are heading over to your offices there, Elocucius. How do you get around on campus? Do you drive up close to the building, or do you have to walk, or do you bicycle, or do you have a scooter or some other magical means of transport?
No, well, I travel in a broom because that's the most natural way to travel. It's also very comfortable.
Have you reworked your broom for the comfort?
Well, yes, it has a cushion, little bar thing, some tassels. It's very
They're necessary for the wind drag.
It's kind of pimp.
And you will have pulled in, got your broom out, and out of the corner of your eye, you see the shadow kind of fall over you. And you will see your head of department, Dr. Rigoletto. And he has with him a couple of, he calls them TAs. They're 6-something. They've got on the sort of the classic wizard's cloaks, but they've got fists like gorillas. They're kind of ill-fitting in that they're chewing on things. You're never sure what they're chewing on, but they're always chewing on something when it comes. Well, Dr. Elocucius, how are you this fine first day of the semester?
Good morning, Dr. Rigoletto. It's good to see you again. Hey, Mario. Hey, Luigi. Excited to have all the brand new children here to teach and all of the wondrous alchemical formulas I've been working on during the furlough, as it were.
Yeah, new stuff. We're going to get new stuff on the streets this semester. It's going to be good. Yeah. So, and he kind of leans in, puts his big hand on your shoulder, says, look, I know that you've been working with a little bit with our friend over in Foresight, Carol Vitapest or Vitapest or what's the name?
Oh, Dr. Carroll's fine enough.
Yeah. So anyway, we understand that you've been working on some predictive alchemical statistics.
Yeah, well, I've submitted a couple of drafts of that already. I'm glad that you actually read it, sir.
Yeah. What else?
During the summertime? That's and forthright work for you, Doctor.
Here's what I want. I want you to see what you can get on what you're doing with Dr. Allpest. And I want we need some crime statistics, some crime forecasting. Maybe just like choose the local region for that kind of thing. The kind of predictive things that like a law enforcement might use.
Do you have any particular concerns there? I mean, this sounds unlikely. Crime here at a school.
Yep. Anyways,
it's just the two of us, Doc. Like, what are you really worried about here?
He says, "Look, I just want you to get this done. Just want to have things go smooth. Can you do that for me? Make me happy. Make the department happy."
I will do my very best to get Dr. Carroll to work on some formulae for crime.
Excellent. You go talk to him, get him in on your little thing there, right? Click clack.
Absolutely.
Okay. And they walk away, and that sort of the feeling of looming threat of physical violence departs with them like a cloud as they move off there. Let me cut from that to Sven. Sven, what does your office actually look like?
Doesn't have a desk. It's wide open spaces because sometimes I fly or things fly, depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I just have it covered in pillows. But that can go away in the cabinets. But when people are coming by the inspections, I use my spells to clean everything up. So papers all stacked neatly. They're in no order, of course, but they're stacked nicely. There are scorch marks on the walls from my practice with lightning. Probably dense also, but that just happens. That's part of life.
And you're in there. Do you have any kind of desk, or is it kind of just sitting on pillows?
Pillows, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're kind of looking over, getting stuff together, and you'll get that smell of burning. That isn't the ozone smell from your lightning. It's more the smell of your pillows burning. And you see kind of pushing in through your door this 10-foot tall figure wreathed in flame. And you see your head of department coming in. Great burning red eyes like coals, ancient of day, great rippling muscles of flame as he pulls himself into here.
Oh, come in, come in.
That's
a very good point. I'll take care of it right away. But it might be better if Elocutus did it. It might be more up his alley. You might ask his dean to ask him to do it. I know it's sometimes awkward asking the other deans to do stuff, but cooperation. We're supposed to help grow the academy this year, right?
Zip, 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 zip. Wait, that.
That's a very good point. I'll have to think about it.
Zip, dip, dip. And you see him point to your calendar on the wall. And he points to 2 days' time from now.
Okay.
And he turns and he heads out. Still, and your pillows are on fire.
Well, Sven will snap his fingers, and the air will just sort of go out with a quick vacuum, and the fire will go out, and then the air will come back in. But he'll bring in a sea breeze air, the smell of salt air and stuff like that, because it has to cover up that smell.
Excellent. Let me cut to from there to our Dr. Olapest. Dr. Olapest, your department chairperson really would like to know what it is you're going to be working on for this semester. Really need to know. We need a research project that has a certain je ne sais quoi to it, as it were, one that is good and solid and verifiable in the retrospective. But more importantly, we need to do it fast. We really want to get that going here. So tell me what you're working on.
Well, I'm very glad you asked. See, I have this great pioneering new study. I'm fairly certain it will yield some concrete results, but you have to trust me on that one a little bit. See, I'm working with Sven, right? Sven, the air guy.
He's a little flighty, isn't he?
Oh yes, but don't worry. I vouch for him.
Oh yes, yes.
Don't worry there. And he and I are going to be researching the elemental effects on butterflies, both figurative and metaphoric, to further research predicting random chance. And no one has ever tried to pin down exactly what makes random chance.
Oh, pin down a butterfly. Random. I see what you did there. Yes, very nice.
Exactly. We're going to pin down the metaphoric and maybe literal butterfly. We need to sort of figure out how we're going to do that. But yes.
Well, excellent. I'd like you to get an outline together so that I can take a look on it and get it in shape like I do. get it tightened up. So I need you to right away just get on this. I'll expect you in the next couple of days, at least your first treatment.
Yes, that is definitely doable.
Excellent. Well, then I won't keep you any longer then.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm very excited about this. This is going to take us a whole department in a brand new direction.
Yes, it will. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing your paper when it's all said and done.
Me too.
And he'll scurry off at that point. And I'm going to cut from there to Zvi. I keep saying Zvi. Zvi, what does your office look like? You've described yourself as a hoarder. If someone comes in, what do they have to get through?
Just stacks of boxes, papers, lots of boxes. Some weird things, vases, urns.
Like everything's in boxes, so you've got stacks of different kinds of boxes. Is that what we see?
Yeah, there are a lot of file boxes, but they might be a little bit. The boxes might not be big enough for what's inside of them, so they overflow a little bit, and they're kind of loosely stacked and precariously. And there's a little wooden. He's got a little wooden desk that he sits behind.
And your head of department comes in. Hear the kind of moving through. And she comes in, and there's a stack of boxes there, and she kind of leans on it. So, hey, yeah. How are you doing, Zvi?
I'm so glad you're here. I'm sinking.
Sinking?
I'm sinking.
That's a thing. Okay. Well, that's great. I'm really glad to hear that.
Help, I'm sinking.
I
stood on this Titanic floor plate and I'm sinking now into the floor. Pull me out.
Yeah. I'll get somebody in here to help you with that. See, now, here's the thing. When you get unstuck from that, we've got a package downstairs, specialty item. It's a weather vane that came in. The weather vane of Abdullah Zarad. We need it cataloged and secured and taken down to the vault. There might be some other people who want to touch it. I don't want anybody to touch it but you. Is that okay? Yeah, great. Sure. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll go in and get the custodian, and he'll be in to help you. Does that sound good?
Yes, that sounds wonderful.
Great, awesome. Glad we had this little
time for my TPS reports.
Yeah. Later on, we'll get to that. You get this first. I know you can work it. Both things you can do same time.
Okay.
It's all good.
Okay.
And how long will it take you to sync before the custodian comes in?
I sync very slowly.
Okay, so it's sort of a kind of a quicksand thing.
Yeah. Slow sync.
So the janitor will come in. Big troll of a fellow comes in, kind of moves your boxes aside, leans in. You need help?
Yes, I'm sinking.
Oh yeah, old people get old. They shrink.
No, look, see at my feet.
Oh yeah, I can't see them.
Just give me a hand. It's like, thank you.
Pulls you up out of there like a little rag doll, kind of shakes you a little bit, sets you off to the side.
So I put this in the corner for later.
Oh, okay. Can I empty your basket?
Yes.
Okay. See him take out your basket. I mean, you've still got some papers that could be used for something in there. He goes to take it out.
So let me go through and I'll leave it for you.
Okay. Hand you back your basket. Yeah, there's some good stuff still in here. Let me cut back to our resident alchemist, Elocutus Mick Barenpfeffer. What are you doing?
Well, after I go in and set up my laboratory for the kids, I'll get my teaching assistant onto taking roll in case they show up on time for whenever I'm scheduled, and head over to the math magician.
And who is your teaching assistant?
Well, I, of course, had a number of different applications. It's very prestigious to be a teaching assistant for me. I've chosen Catlip Manifest. She specializes in Delve Deeper, which means that she does a lot of my work for me, which is great because she's learning so much.
Has she yet realized the trap that she's gotten caught in?
No, not at all. She's still very thankful, which I'm appreciative of, her appreciation.
Well, so your teaching assistant Catlip is getting the all the little desks and the Bunsen burners and the little philosopher stones out on the tables there, and the wash down cabinet set. And so you will go over to the Department of Foresight to track down your erstwhile associate.
Indeed. I will hop onto the broom and fly on over to the Foresight Department.
So, Dr. Olapest, where are you when you see Elocutus coming?
I feel like Dr. Olapest is outside the department having a cigarette with a magpie or a crow, like, that's hanging out amongst the swampy omens.
Yep. Bad days are coming. Bad days.
Bad days. Don't you and I both know it, right?
Oh, yeah. Back in my day. And then you'll see.
Speaking of bad omens.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Olapest. I'm just a terrible person. Dr. Carroll, you see Dr. Elocutus, and here he comes. Dr. Elocutus flies in on the broom. The couple of isolated crows that are around here, they don't take off. They walk away like, who the F are you? They got bad attitudes, to go with their cigarettes. Okay. Looks like they'd rumble if they could. All right. And there you go.
Dr. Carroll, it's great to see you. It's been 8 weeks or more.
Hey, Elocutus.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good, great, awesome. It's been spectacular for me. Thanks for asking. Hey! So I'm thinking we could do some statistical models on particular subjects. You and I partner up on a new deal, as it were, for the semester.
He takes a drag and he's like, why do I feel like I only see you when you have work for me to do?
Well, I don't really come here to socialize like, I don't know, Finn. I'm here to do work. Get things done. And that's why I'm here to talk to you. Come on, Doc. Mathematical. We could work this on your spreadsheets and pivot some tables. Create some charts, line graphs, circle pie charts. Come on.
I do like pivot tables and circle line charts. Okay, tell me more. What's the deal?
It's a little salacious. My department head would like to know a bit about the foresight. That's a little out of my field, exactly, but I'll throw in some alchemy to help you, of course, like I do. And we want to know about criminal activities within a 5-mile, maybe just 1 mile or a quarter mile. We'll work on the different models together of the campus itself, because that's where you will find we can validate the data.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing is you would like someone to run some vision modeling, perhaps like do a couple of scenario testing, do a little bit of scrying to sort of validate those scenarios and then put it. This is setting out a lot of work.
That's why I came to the best.
You're too kind.
You notice as this has gone on that now there's a circle of crows. They've formed that ring of doom around the two of you.
Is it a murder of crows?
Yes.
Well, so what's the deadline on this work looking like?
Oh, well, here's the best part. We just need to work on it, but when the students are all worried about their syllabi, before the work really begins, we just work on it right then. So now.
Now.
I really like delivering the results, and so the sooner the better that we can and just hammer this out.
Okay. I'll put yes. I'll say yes, and I'll put up my list of things to do, and I promise I will get to it sometime now. Sounds very controversial. Could it be? Yeah. I'll help.
Dr.
You have a
Carol,
verbal commitment.
I really appreciate this.
Yeah.
It's
The crows shake their heads. They're all shaking their heads like, oh.
It's important.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes, Doc. What do you need?
Can I at least get credit on the title, like as a co-author or something? Or can you at least cite some of my papers?
You list me the papers you would like credit for. I will make sure that it's in there. Don't worry.
Okay. Are you sure?
We are partnering on this. We are co-authors. I get the top, but you're right there. People forget the top. They all just you're the foundation of this pyramid.
Okay. I'll trust you this time. It sounds good.
And we'll cut from that moment of you making that verbal pact, as it were, a devil's bargain with Dr. Elocucius. We'll cut over to the still smoldering offices of Dr. Sven. Dr. Sven, your department head has come and gone and left you a cryptic message that is due in 2 days' time. What do you want to do?
I want to go talk to his assistant.
All right. And what do you want to tell me something about this assistant?
What would it be? It's Tom Farrell.
Okay.
And he really doesn't like the position, but his elementalism wasn't good enough to really get anything else. But he does seem to have a knack for understanding what the dean wants.
Hey, Sven, what's going on, man? What's going on there, man?
Oh, Tom, so nice to see you. It's been
I was just sitting down here, making myself a nice big sandwich here for the morning. Gotta have it going on there when it gets to lunchtime, man. I get hungry by about midday. You know how it is. Low blood sugar and all that stuff got it going on.
Hey, do you happen to know what the dean is after these days? He came to me with an assignment, but I'm not really sure what he wants or how he wants it.
Oh, well, man, do you know what he said to you, man?
You're evil, lol. Oh, sure. Sven will snap his fingers and force the airwaves to recreate the sounds of the dean.
Perfect. That is called casting a spell. When you use your magic to solve a problem or remove an obstacle, roll with sorcery. If the type of magic you're working on is outside your department's area of expertise, which it is not, you would roll at disadvantage.
Okay, so I think that's with... Wait, what does that roll with? Just so I know when I roll.
Sorcery.
And sorcery? Well, that won't be good, will it?
Sorcery, 2d6 in sorcery.
Yeah, okay. Wait, I guess it's the submit. Reroll selected, that's what I'm looking for. Boom. So it looks like a 9. Let's see, because I think my sorcery... Oh, it's actually a 10.
Wow. So you reproduce the sounds. Yes, nip, my sweet Satan. And he's like, oh, wow, man. That's kind of a dangerous thing he wants you to do there. Huh?
Yeah, so what exactly will meet his requirement?
Yeah, so apparently there's like some artifact over at the artifact place, with the artifact and relic place. You know how that is with all the building the thing where they're going down there, man. Anyway, so yeah, there's some kind of like a weather vane thing, and he thought that you might be the man to go and get it from them, man.
Vein? And do what with it? Just bring it?
Yeah, apparently it belonged to somebody he knew.
And it's going to take me 2 days to do this?
But I don't know, man. That's just what he said there, man. You want a sandwich?
Nah, no thank you, but that's very kind of you.
Okay, man. Yeah, they said, yeah, he sounded mad when he said it there, though. I'd get my ass on that thing then, man.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll go take a look. This should be nice.
Okay, man. Yeah. Talk to you later, man.
Yeah, take care.
And we'll cut from you over to Zvi. You've been rescued from your trap. What do you do?
I think it's time to go down to find the weather vane.
All right. So you'll head down. Where would it have come in? Where would it be a newly arrived artifact?
It's garage.
Okay. Kind of a little motor pool kind of garage. Smells of oil and old stuff. It's more like a barn garage than a real sort of mechanics garage there. And there are a bunch of wooden boxes, all labeled highly dangerous, less dangerous, more dangerous in various things. I assume that there's a symbol system that the alchemical department has for marking that.
I think so.
What? How do they mark that? What is the little sigil that is marked with?
These boxes more in skulls and crossbones are the more dangerous. 6 skull and crossbone, very deadly. 1 skull and crossbone, not so deadly.
Yeah, so you'll see, kind of look around, and there's a manifest there. Kind of check the boxes, and you look over, and there's a 5.5 crossbone box that is apparently the one that you're supposed to secure.
Aha. Can
What
you
do you
see
want to
inside it? Can it, like, is it a sealed? Is it a crate?
Yeah, you could open it up.
Sure, I think it kind of opens it up and peeks inside.
Pop it open. There's the sort of the straw and stuff that these things are packed in.
I use the crowbar I got from the Dr. Carroll.
Okay, you pull through there. Keep searching. Keep digging. There's nothing in here.
I think I'll tip it over.
Okay. You'll tip it over, and all the various straw and such the packing material will come tipping out of there onto the floor of the garage, but no weather vane.
Check the manifest again to see if anybody's, come in to take it.
No, it doesn't look like anyone's like signed that they've come in to check it. It looks like it came in at midnight last night, and it should be there, but it's not.
This is not good. I think I'll close up the box, and I think at this point I want to kind of find out what's up with what is this weather vane thing. So maybe do some research.
All right. So you will head back up and
I have my teaching assistant do the research.
Okay. Tell us about your teaching assistant.
Okay, so my teaching assistant is, I think my teaching assistant is Lucilinda McBarfenpeffer, niece of Professor Eloquatius McBarfenpeffer.
What does she think of her uncle?
She adores her uncle in that kind of, you know, he's so cute, but I'm going to eventually be a much, much better professor than my uncle kind of way. Fair
enough. Fair enough. So you will give her this, and under your TA, what does she have a specialty? You can certainly have her be a specialist in delving deeper, which means that she's good at
specialty.
Okay. Then you get to roll with advantage.
Okay.
On that.
All right. And I'm just rolling.
I think you roll, the TA rolls just straight, but you roll with advantage.
Okay. So that means I roll all three?
Yep. Take the two highest.
The two highest are a 3 and a 1.
So she sets into it, and she will kind of look up and say, "This is going to take a while. I'm so sorry. I thought this was going to be like nothing. Like I would just magic Google it, but it looks like it's something more dangerous."
Okay, it takes what it takes.
Okay. The good news is you get to mark experience.
All right.
And I'm going to cut away from that back over to, I think we started with you last time of the pair, Rich. So I'm going to start with Dr. Olapeist. Dr. Carroll. I'm going to keep doing that. Dr. Carroll, what is your next step?
Oh, for the crime research or the air research? I kind of want to check in with Sven, because we've got this outline that's due in 2 days. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sven, where are you when Dr. Carroll finds you?
I'm going to find Dr. Carroll. Actually, no, that's not true. I would be going down to the artifacts because I need to find the weather vane.
Okay. So you're walking out. You're heading out of your building. You're on the quad. It's that beautiful, crisp, late summer morning. Except for all the bird poop around, it's a beautiful bucolic sight. The fountains are going. Students have their backpacks. They're crossing the campus. There's all kinds of that talk. You can smell the food hall cooking up things and all that. And Dr. Carroll, you see Sven heading across the quad. The glorious sun hitting him. He's a handsome man. There are a number of lady students who swoon when he goes past, that kind of thing. So you can speak with him.
Yes. So Carol's gonna run up to him, but a little bit out of breath because he's a smoker, right? and flag down Sven with Dr. Sven. Just the man I was looking for.
You're muted.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
That's exactly what I said also. I was like, oh, I am. Oh, Carol, good to see you.
Yes, you're just a breath of fresh air.
I can take a hint. He snaps his fingers, and the wind blows and you smell roses. Did you need something from me?
Yes, actually. See, I've had a chat with my department head about this research that we're working on, and funny story, he would actually like a deadline in 2 days. But don't worry, I think it'll be a breeze because you want to make a really good team. And I'm really excited about this research. It's been so long since I have looked forward to doing a research project. So I'm really excited about this.
Excellent. And so, do you want to meet to work later?
If that's possible, like I'm not, this isn't my area of expertise per se, so I would really appreciate your 2 cents on this. Maybe we could do a bit of like a late night brainstorm on getting this outline down.
Okay, and you're talking about the butterfly.
Yes, the figurative, metaphoric, literal butterfly.
And maybe that's what my dean was talking about also. He wanted me to get a weather vane.
A weather vane. It's interesting. Any particular weather
vane? In the artifacts vault. I don't know anything about it. It's new. So I was going to go find out, but weather vane, butterfly, maybe they're related.
Could be.
So
I would put money on it.
If you're not busy, you could come and see if we could find it together.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't have other things I should be doing.
We can talk while we walk.
I like it. Yes, I would love to come along and check out this weather vane. I feel like I'm getting good feelings from this.
Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Yeah. And so you two will head over to the artifacts area. I'm going to cut from that back to Dr. Elocucius McBaron. Doctor, what is it you would like to do? Would you like to go teach today? Or do you want to do something else?
Check my chronometer. It looks like it's time for a class. Well, I'll head on over and make sure that Catlip has taken the role, and then I'll grace them with a little bit of my knowledge, impart it, as it were.
What is the topic of this? This is early days, but what is the focus of your lecture?
The syllabus and going over all the rules. It's very interesting.
So this is the day where you take the well-honed multi-year syllabus, hold it out in front of you, and read through it.
Yep.
Page.
Yep, that's it.
My page.
That's all that I need to do.
You, this is teaching, and there is a role for teaching. You can teach once a week, and you roll plus charisma.
Ha! That's exactly right. I'm going to be rolling 2 6-sided dice. My charisma is excellent. It's a 2. So here we go. Huh. Did I actually roll? If it did, it rolled the exact same dice.
I don't know if it rolled or not.
I'll do this instead.
Okay.
Okay, somebody deselected my dice. Ha! That's a 10.
That is a 10. Everything goes according to plan. You're a striking professor. This is an intro level course. You give them the spiel. You talk about drop add period. You talk about the grade, what percentage is what the curve is going to be like, what their labs are going to be, all of that kind of thing. You really hit your marks. And speaking of marks, with successful teaching, you get to mark experience.
Other people fail. I succeed and get experience.
I will tell you guys, so the 7 to 9 for it is marking experience, but you get an additional complication, usually in the form of a student coming and needing something from you. So that's
the pains of my existence.
Excellent. I'm going to cut from you to Dr. Zvi.
Yes, Dr. Zvi. So I think Dr. Zvi might take it on his own now as he returns to his desk to maybe flip through his own books and see if he can't maybe do a little bit of research on his own to figure out what this weather vane of, what was it again? Whose weather
vane of Al-Abhazad.
Ah, yes.
That might have been the way it was pronounced, or not, but close.
So he wants to do some of his own research.
Okay. So this is a an activity that you can do once a week. Essentially, it's a long-term thing they have. If you want to put it towards asking questions. So let's have you roll research.
Okay. So I just roll 2 die for this.
Yep.
Okay. And that's a 5 plus 2 is 7.
7. So you get to ask a question, and if I'd had my wits about me, I would have had that to copy into the thing. Let me grab that real quick. The move questions.
Okay. Is the delve deeper? Is it
delve deeper?
Okay.
You have that up?
Yeah, I've got that in front of me. So, oh. Ah. Who do I know who might have a vested interest in this?
Well, given the nature of it, it's clear ties to Al-Abhazad, who wrote the Necronomicon, and in ancient Arabia, as it were, and also its relation to weather. You suspect that the dean of the Department of Elements would love to get their hands on this. It seems to have strong elemental affinities.
Interesting. So I think once I've kind of determined that, I'm going to storm out and head right for the Elemental Dean's office.
And we'll cut with you will see a professor that you know from the Department of Elements, along with a forethought, that Carol person that you've interacted with before, and they are coming here to the Artifacts building.
That's good to see you.
Zvi, it's been so long. How have you been?
Toupee goes by.
Oh, you almost got it this time. I'm sure you'll get it sometime soon.
Oh, I was just thinking of you because I'm on my way to see your dean.
My dean?
Your dean. I came to see a dean about a missing vein.
You have leg problems?
No. Weather vein.
Ah, I need that also. He asked me to come to you to see the to ask about the weather vane. Do you have it?
So I have the box that it was shipped in. I don't have the weather vane. I want somebody opens it and maybe got to it before me.
Are you sure?
No, just suspects.
Was the box closed?
Yes.
Is it an invisible weather vane?
Perhaps.
Shall we go?
Come, I show you the box.
Come, Dr. Kell.
Hi, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Cow, for this crowbar. I use it to open the box. It's very nice. It was Secret Santa, lucky for me.
Costs less than $10.
And you can crowbar open this box again, and yeah, it's empty.
See? Missing vein.
This is just a suggestion. But perhaps I could take possession of this box and spend some intimate time with it to perhaps get a sense for its history or its future, or try and read into the whereabouts of where this weather vane has gone.
Sven looks at Dr. Carroll with a couple questions. You spend intimate time with a box?
Well, I wouldn't usually, but I will make an exception in this instance.
I'm very impressed.
Me too.
So do you wish to try and delve the box? Use your
I would like to delve into the box.
So tell me what that looks like.
How large is this box? It's for reference.
It's about the size of a coffin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then he's definitely going to get inside the box. Get right deep in there.
Okay. In the packing material?
Yeah, like you just see his the nose peeking out from the packing material outside of it. And from inside the box, he's going to sort of just run his hands down the side of it and in a rather sort of ritualistic manner.
Perfect.
Real intimate.
Yeah. Doesn't look creepy at all.
Nope.
So let's have you roll cast a spell.
Excellent. I was really hoping you'd say that.
Sorcery.
Do I have advantage or anything, or?
Nope.
Oh, great.
Just sorcery.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. So sorcery, not your strong suit.
Nope.
So you will do kind of move your hands along it, and you will get this flash. And you will get this flash of a figure, this dark hooded figure holding this weather vane above its head, and the crackling of lightning and the wind tearing around, and the pig smoke in the background, buildings being lifted up, students screaming, the school mascot flies past, and all of this is the explosions coming down. See the food court destroyed.
And with that, I feel like he sits bolt upright, and the packing material kind of falls off him a little bit. This bit stuck in his hair, and it's just we're fucked.
I'm going to cut from there over to you, Elocucius.
Indeed.
So what else is on your agenda today? Certainly you have some papers to try and work on. And what are your upcoming plans? Do you have another party? Do you have a department meeting? What's on your agenda?
Well, the students don't have a great deal of work, so I think that perhaps a welcoming party might be the way to go. So that'll be what I'll be planning. I think I'll head over to the breezeway and jot down some notes, work on.
Have a little lunch outside and relax while you plan it?
Indeed. I think this is a beautiful afternoon.
Excellent. Please roll. With nothing, you roll the move called A Small Incestuous World. When you eat or drink in a public place on campus, roll with nothing.
I've got an 8.
All right. So on a 7 to 9, let me pull that move up for you. Get you the.
I run into someone you'd really rather have avoided. You catch wind of some bad news that will affect your department. You see 2 other faculty members doing something highly dubious, and you are implicated or drawn in. I think it will be the 3rd.
All right. So you are working there, and you will see a couple of members of your alchemical department talking with one another, and you see that these aren't part of the dealers that you normally would associate, not the people who are working in what you consider the more sketchy side of the alchemical department. And you can see...
So you're saying they're not earners. Okay.
Yes, they're not earners. But you see that they have, like, they're looking at some stuff. You see one of them has like a hand of glory, and they have some other stuff, and you can see that these things still have the tags on them, like the Artifact Labs tags.
Huh. Wow. Oh. Rookie mistake. These guys will never get tenure.
What do you want to do?
Oh. Hunter over there, closing my mole notebook. Leather.
And they'll quickly kind of put the stuff in their duffel bags and so on.
What do you idiots think you're doing?
What do you mean, Doctor? What is it that they're talking about?
The hand of glory with the frickin' tag on it?
Oh shit! Oh, sorry. Yeah, no.
Would you like for Mario and Luigi to break your legs, gentlemen? Is that what you would like?
No. This is nothing to do with them.
Oh, well, of course, but once our department's implicated, guess who's going to come around?
Okay, we'll keep it on the down low. Here, you want one? Hand you a hand of glory.
What exactly are you trying to accomplish?
Nothing. We got it. It's we helped somebody out, and they gave us these. Mm-hmm. They had a gross of them. A gross of hands of glory.
Glory, of course, it's gross.
Yes.
Wow. What exactly
did you do? Kind of shakes it a little bit.
Yeah. He takes one, slides it into his lab coat. What exactly are you doing for these people?
They needed some help with a protective thing.
Oh, are you protecting them? Are you... Gentlemen, I'm the next department head. It might be good if I'm let in on these schemes of yours.
All right. Let me have you roll charisma.
Oh. I will do that. I rolled a 7, and with my charisma, that brings it up to a 9.
Okay. Do you think you're playing kind of hardball, or are you trying to be a little more schmoozy with them?
I think I'm going a little hard. I mentioned Mario and Luigi. By the way, I don't think that's their names. I don't care.
And, but they know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. And also that I'm the next department head, which is probably true.
They say, oh, dude. No, don't get it. They're not happy about this, about getting kind of pushed around by you. But given they say, it was Dr. Husla over at the summoning school. He needed some amulets of protection. Ancient evil grade. And he's kind of got a lot of pull there, so we thought it's probably a good idea to do that.
Oh, so you ganked a dozen hands of glory? What were you doing? Setting up a giant circle jerk? What is going on here?
No. This is what Husla gave us.
Oh.
For the amulets.
I see.
So I don't know where he got these, but yeah.
Take only what you need. We're going to return the rest, and then we look like stars!
Okay. They're a little grumbly about this, but...
Think about it this way, gentlemen. It's going to be found out eventually. You can't walk around with a gross of hands of glory. What exactly are you going to do with it?
And they say, okay, but Husla's got... He's the... And you do know Husla. He's like the rock star over at the summoning department. He is the guy that everybody looks up to.
Right. See, exactly. What we have here is the possibility of taking him down a couple of notches.
All right, with that sinister laugh, I will cut back to the loading dock garage with the packing hair covered hair of Dr. Carroll and Zvi and Sven seeing Carroll bolt upright and then use the F word.
Sorry.
What do you mean, of course?
Probably a student was walking by. They went, took off. They look younger every year. To you, they look like a 12-year-old. Okay, they're probably like 18.
Because we're in a magic university or college or whatnot, so curse words might have real impact, right?
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, it could be bad. So I think Sven will probably reach out and flick some of the packing stuff out of Carol's hair. Say, "What is wrong, Carol? What did you see?"
Bad things that warranted swearing. I apologize. Maybe I shouldn't have sweared. But, oh God. So there was like, the school was in ruins. Things were flying around. There was lightning. There was a dark, ominous figure in a hooded robe. And, oh, I feel terrible. I feel real nauseous. This is some bad stuff.
Did you see my vein?
No, I didn't, because everything was on fire.
Well, do you know when this will happen?
No.
So I like the way you put that. No.
So it could be tonight, it could be next year.
Are you sure this will happen?
Well, I am from the foresight department, so I'm pretty sure it's going to happen at some point.
Is it
I have a headache.
preventable?
Yes. Good question. I may have to go and ruminate some more on this. I may do research more into this. The weather vane may be, just one small problem amongst all the many big problems we have now.
Rich, I would like to hard frame you into this scene if I could.
Sure.
You have this shoebox of Hands of Glory that you are going to return to the artifacts department and get some bennies for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've walked up and you've come in through the garage / loading area, and you will see Dr. Carroll and Sven and Zvi there, and they seem to be engaged in some heated discussion.
I'll attempt to eavesdrop if no one has seen me yet.
All right. So do any of you see the good doctor as he enters in? Hearing nothing, you can continue your conversation. He is going to eavesdrop in the most obvious way possible. That's what will give him away, by the way, that laugh.
I would I kind of feel like the fate spinner move might come in handy, particularly with Sven, since I'm kind of connecting weather and Sven and like this dark robe. So yes.
So you're going to try and do something to Sven's destiny?
Mm.
What do you think?
I think I would like to conduct a ritual with him. I'm not, to get a sense of if he's connected to this ominous vision I've had.
Are you down with that, Sven?
Sven is up for everything. With clothes or without. What do you need me to do?
Okay, well, I feel like Carol will take his hand and face it palm up, and then sort of trace the lines in his hand as he might like do for palm reading kind of thing. And then sort of sink into a trance-like state, perhaps. I think that's how he's gonna read his destiny.
Excellent. Roll bureaucracy. Oh.
Oh my god. That's a 4.
So
Think about what happened if you're working on my project.
As I apologize if I blew everyone's earphones out.
So you are doing that, and kind of you're pulling that together, and in the distance you hear the rumble of thunder, and you feel the first seal crack. And that's probably where we're going to stop tonight.
Do we all hear the thunder, though?
Yes.
Do we all hear the crack of the seal?
No.
Oh.
She hears it. She can hear the crack of destiny.
Oh. Can I just do one last thing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think when that thunder crack, I turn my head and look up, and I see like this little like white poof of hair like around the corner, and I think it's my thing, and I run and I lunge for it and grab it.
So yeah, there is that thing grabbing onto it, firm hold. Old
Yes.
man has a good grip there.
Yes, but it's not my hair.
No. Does that seem okay? Like that's a good place for us to stop and start this next time? Is that okay?
Very good.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. We will do Roses and Thorns at the end of next session, and I'll have some time to think about what the weather vane means and what the seal means, and what kind of papers you need to be writing for your projects. So do think about if you have a research topic that your character's working on, what you want to call that research topic. So that is one thing for in between.
Our homework.
Yes, that's your homework. It's an academic game. Of course, it's going to have homework. All right, well, I'm going to stop the broadcast.